back to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're new, I'm Aspie. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness and sharing my life story with autism and mental health, along with taking you all on a journey with fun and games, with tips and advice along the way, as well as just various topics that might come into progression. So as you all, we're basically, while I've been away, I've just done a quick collab with Lulu. Hopefully she'll link it in the description, based on grief and loss, and I'm going to do this basically into certain parts to the questions she's thrown at me, one of which some of them will be on the mental health awareness week, just to get you guys in the know-how so that we can understand each other and whatnot, and then the other ones basically will be on the actual channel itself as of today, and maybe and sometime this week as well, hopefully, if all goes to plan. So I want to thank Lulu for inviting me, and saying this also, if you're into any of the videos that I do, feel free to subscribe on the bottom right hand corner and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. So as you know, basically I'm going to do the very first part right now as a quick Q&A, and then the next few ones about the grief and loss topics will be covered, will be myths and misconceptions about grieving and the loss, or grief and losses in general. 2 will be basically after that of the myths and misconceptions, will be basically the do's and don'ts of what to do and what to say basically, and what not to say of actual content of the, you know, how to go about handling someone that is actually grieving. But just to be in mind though, the myths and misconceptions versus the pet peeves might be put together, because obviously, like as I said in my video with Lulu's one, basically it correlates as well as into like what I shared into one of the parts about my form of advice for you guys, basically on it is a similar kind of thing that comes to board of what you can do for your loved one versus what you can do as a form of advice, versus also just, you know, in general. How would you describe your loved one to a person who never met them? There's many people in my life that has come and gone through the passing of their life, regardless who they are, and many of them were caring. They were full of energy, they were full of spirit, they were carefree, they didn't seem to care about what others were thinking about them. They just got on with what they had to at their time of living. Some of them had a great sense of humour, basically. Some of them were actually creative and imaginative. Some that I know of, basically, of the ones that were passing, they had some really God-given talents and gifts to share with the world, regardless of what caused them to pass on, and so on and so forth. So like I said, there's a variety there, but I don't want to disclose the names of who they were at the time. Do you have a memory or a story you would like to share with the audience about your person that's passing? I have a lot of stories to share, obviously based on different ones that has passed, obviously, and at this point of time, one of which that sticks up like a sore thumb is one of the girls that I lost. Basically, she was a real bright, happy young woman. She used to sing and dance. She used to like making a fool of herself. She liked to just make everybody laugh, and every time she comes in the room, she's always brings a bit of laughter and joy in the room because of that personality she had. She was a caring person and whatnot. What's one coping method you do to help yourself feel better? If need be, if there was any videos or photos, sometimes maybe just a reminiscence on the day that they died, and just, you know, have a 1 hour time of silence basically, and like light a candle or something. Or what I do, sometimes I'll meditate, sometimes I'll write down my thoughts for the day, so on and so forth. Just anything really just to keep me busy, regardless, and not to try and push it way out of my mindset of that person that I lost. PSA. What's the best way to understand the feeling of grief? Best way to feel an understanding of grief, as I said before, is there's the 5 grieving processes. You know, you've got the denial, guilt, anger. I can't remember the other 2. Grieving is obviously also as a normal human response. We're all normal. We all grieve in a different way, obviously, as I said before. So therefore, basically, we need to understand everybody's different in the form of grieving, whatever it may be. During birthdays, anniversaries of of your loved one? If so, if there are any, what are they? Long time ago, as I said before, basically, I just said this before on the way of how I cope with it, is just like long time ago when I first started out, when I found out was like an hour silence with a candle, maybe play a video of them or sing their favorite song, because as I said, one of my friends were like a musician and she used to like singing, so I'll do some singing or dancing or what have you. Another tradition is basically, I was hoping to keep alive with one of them, but even though it's still early and raw for me at the moment after losing my friend earlier this year in March, I think I posted it on Facebook about it, basically is maybe, you know, getting into the form of learning their culture a bit more in the Samoan Tongan culture of theirs, and basically maybe sing some Samoan Tongan songs, maybe bring out some, you know, Samoan Tongan foods and whatnot, do it that way if need be as a form of a tradition or anniversary. Here's a I'm just trying to learn more about basically of some of the ones that I've lost along the way. Regardless, like this, smash the like, comment below, feel free to also share these videos around, and I want to just quickly say thank you once again, Lulu, for inviting me for this collab. Hopefully we've learned something along the way or had a bit of fun along the way, getting to know how I go about with my grieving process of after losing someone, you know, because like I said, it's never easy. So again, never judge someone that is in their grieving stage right now, sort of thing. Just be there for them, be patient with them, let them speak to you when they're ready to open up, and if they do open up, be sure to have your ears ready to, and just make sure not to judge or assume anything about them, so to speak. So what I do, guys, thanks for support. Also, just to follow me on my social medias as it comes out. So don't forget also that my Patreon account is up there. Also, if you want to help me with some of the funds, that will cover the cost of my rent versus travel costs if I do decide to travel more via, if it's over here where I am locally or even just around New Zealand, and in the near future to meet you guys, so on and so forth, along with also the cost of just some of the recording equipment that I'm hoping to get across, as well as some other bits and pieces that I want to do, as in giving back to you guys as a form of a thank you, be it badges and pins and whatnot that I want to hopefully create, that will come hopefully into the merch store if I raise enough funds for that as well. And so there's also basically, don't forget, basically, if you want to join me on the bandwagon for any of the collabs that I've shouted you guys about, be it, you know, the Journey Through the Mind series, if you want to go in depth about your condition and whatnot, let me know, so to speak, so that you can, you know, just follow through those interview-like questions, but maybe go into more depth if you're really brave enough to do so, regardless of what conditions. As I said, I'm all about raising awareness and understanding and symptoms throughout each of the periods of whatever it may be, as well as also some other collabs that will come in the works later. I'm hoping also, as I said before, that I'm trying to do as much as I can based on designing my website right now of my WordPress to change right over to a proper website, so that you guys can have a look there through some of the articles that I may have done, or shall we say my blogs, that's similar to some of the videos I've shared. Some of it may not have been shared on the channel as of yet, but some might come as a later date. I don't know yet, but we'll have to see. And I'm hoping in the near future basically to write second part of my book. This is also just a book full of people that are autistic that wants to write their short stories about their journey with autism and whatnot, and how they go about it. So enough we do, guys. Thanks for support, thanks for watching, do what you love what you do. Until next time, I'll see you again soon. Ciao.